Greetings, I'm Vulkk. It's Sunday and it's time to do a recap with the Weekly Roundup show, which has been missing for the last couple of weeks. And because of that, I have a few older updates to mention to you guys because you might have missed them, hopefully not. Anyway, it's been a really busy week. I expect the next one will be even more busy and a lot more interesting because we've got a huge update to Star Wars The Old Republic coming. Today's topics will be mainly about Mass Effect Andromeda's newest patch, what's new, what's different, what's improved, and of course, latest news and updates about the upcoming update to Star Wars The Old Republic this Tuesday, on 11th of April. Let's begin. First, I have a brand new collective post called Everything About SWTOR Patch 5.2, The War for Iokath. Down below, you will be able to find, well, if you've been following my activity on Vulkk.com lately, or for however long, you know how I do things. For every major patch, I collect all of the news, all of my videos, all of the tutorials, guides, updates, everything else important. I structure in one post, one mega thread, so you can find it easily. And just as always, I've separated those news and updates in before the launch of the patch and after the launch of the patch, because before we get hands-on, it's pretty much news, updates, and previews. After the launch, I'm already able to bring you guides, tutorials, overviews, specifically to those of you guys who haven't been around the game in the last 2 or 3 months. Or those of you who are brand new to the game, you would find interesting information. Of course, I can scroll down. It's very, very zoomed in, so you won't get a clear view of what exactly the thread looks like, the post, I should say. But of course, all of these things that I'm talking about will be mentioned with links down below in the video description and in a pinned comment under the video, so you can find all of the information very easy and very quickly. The next 2 posts are about my Jedi Shadow Serenity Discipline guide for 5.0 plus. It will be updated for every major class change. We haven't had any so far. And the next one is a Sith Assassin Hatred Discipline. Both of those are mirrors. What's important to mention is, and it's mentioned here in the very first paragraph on the first page, this guide was written by Mebritio and sent to me absolutely out of nowhere. I didn't ask about that guide. I actually made a separate video introducing that guide and telling you a little bit more about how I received it and why. This is the very first time a written guide on my website, Vulkk.com, is being published that's not written by me. I mean, there are, of course, the edits to make the guide my style. Thanks to Mebritio, he actually followed quite nicely my style of writing, for which I'm very thankful. I'm not really sure if they made it on purpose or just randomly, but it was really easy to edit and paginate the 2 guides. Of course, the Assassin Hatred Guide is exact translation, which means all the ability, utilities, builds, rotations, priorities, and everything else is still coming from Mebritio, but I've translated everything to Empire terms. Please forgive me and notify me if you find something out of place. For example, a Republic Shadow ability being mentioned in the Hatred Assassin Guide, or vice versa maybe. Next big topic, SWTOR producer live stream from 7th of April 2017. It was originally scheduled to be live on 6th of April, but there were some issues. We didn't learn much during that stream because most of the news and updates BioWare delivered during the live stream we already knew from developer posts and other updates and news information shared by BioWare in the previous days and even weeks. The only new thing that I would definitely like to mention and point, and I have a separate post with a lot more screenshots about it, is the brand new galaxy map. This is worth taking a look, and of course at the moment it's only a preview, but just in a couple of days, Tuesday or Wednesday, I will have a detailed video overview of the new galaxy map. It's really a big change and only positive. I can't really find a single negative reason or negative perk to that new change, except that maybe nobody requested it. I mean, it's a quality of life change that absolutely nobody would disagree with, but it came completely out of the blue and nobody knew BioWare is working on a new galaxy map until very recently. With this And of course, in the end of this episode, I'll mention a couple of videos that you have to take a look at. And with this, let's finish the SWTOR section, moving on to Mass Effect Andromeda. This is my beginner's guide with basic tips for an easy start. This is basically my first and so far only, but really big, expansive and detailed guide for the game. It's again structured with my own style to 4 different pages. Basic overview, abilities and profiles, crafting, which involves researching and developing, of course, and the last page is about maps and navigation. Inside those pages you will find written information, screenshots, and some videos as well, because I have detailed videos talking about abilities, builds, profiles and skills. I have separate video about the crafting, a third video about mining minerals, how it's done and things like that. I will have more detailed tutorials and guides videos for Mass Effect Andromeda. In fact, if I find time for tomorrow, Monday, 10th of April, I'm planning to do my very first build guide for Mass Effect Andromeda, and by build I mean biotic build, as in character build. But that depends on several things that are probably or eventually going to happen in my real life, so I can't promise when that video will be out. This biotic build was created thanks to many of you guys who visited my live streams with the playthrough of the story of the game, gave me suggestions and tips. Of course, there are so many of you that are more experienced than me with the Mass Effect in general. And Biotics, even though it's a Mass Effect 4, completely brand new game with new beginning and such, Biotics is very, very similar in terms of performance and ability names even to what we knew or remember from the previous classic trilogy, the previous 3 games. This topic now is about Mass Effect Andromeda's first post-release patch 1.05. BioWare improved a lot of things, including the most important, animations and video performance, specifically on PC. I can't comment on consoles because I don't have a console to test. I've received some reports under my videos in the past few days that some issues on consoles are still present. Many of them have been fixed. The improved eye animation, the shaders on the eyes, make the characters much more realistic. You definitely need to take another look at the game if you decided that the animations are too wooden, ugly, clunky, clumsy, or I don't know, something else negatively describing them. I do have 2 videos. First is about talking about the patch day before it's released, or 2 days before it's released, when the patch notes were published. That's actually the video listed here. And then I have another video that I'll show you in a moment, which is actually my first report after the patch went live. And after a couple of hours of gameplay, I've managed to already notice a series of improvements, which I definitely wanted to share with you. So don't miss those 2 videos if you're a fan of the game. And if you had issues with Mass Effect Andromeda, you definitely want to take a look at what this patch has to offer, because now you may be able to run the game a lot smoother than before. It's not all fixed, of course. For that, we'll have to rely on future patches. I do actually have a video about upcoming plans from BioWare regarding Mass Effect Andromeda for the next couple of months. Let's jump quickly and cover the hotfix for 087223 for Gwent. I haven't shown videos of Gwent lately because I've been devoting pretty much all of my attention to Mass Effect Andromeda, with keeping up to date with news and information about SWTOR. But on 29th or 30th of March last month, Gwent received a quick hotfix with just a couple of changes, namely to cancel and promote fixes, actually, I should say. So that's not really something big. CD Projekt Red is still testing the biggest change with the latest big update, the positioning patch. And if you haven't tried it yet, you definitely should. A lot of things have changed. I do have extensive coverage on the positioning patch from the patch notes, from the developer live stream from a couple weeks ago, and a few other news posts on Vulkk.com, so definitely don't miss to check them out. Last but not least, let me show you a screen with some of my latest videos, pretty much videos covering the span of time from the last, I should say, probably a week, even though the Weekly Roundup show has been missing for a couple of weeks. I would like to show and specifically point out some of the videos that are actually also covered with written information in posts and guides on my website. But anyway, you definitely want to check out the choosing your faction video for SWTOR 5.2. I will be talking and explaining that in detail and while doing it after the patch goes live this coming Tuesday. There is another video that I didn't even mention so far, and I'd really like to showcase it to you. Well, not showcase because I'm not going to play it, but talk about the best story arc that SWTOR has created so far. And this, in my opinion, is the Dreadmaster story arc. It spans for far too long across so many patches, and surprisingly for me, so many of you guys did not enjoy it because it includes operations, probably because operation has been my main focus in SWTOR for just about 5 years. I loved the fact that the story arc spread from single story play through group play through the end game as well. So yeah, this is a video showing the first appearance of the Dreadmaster, spoiler alert, how we freed them on Belsavis. And after that, the second part of the video is me talking about my good old memories, which I tend to do a lot more often lately. Yep, I consider myself a SWTOR veteran now because I've been in this game with no interruption for, well, since the beginning. It's more than 5 years now, actually closing 5.5 years. What is it? 5 years and 4 months? 4-ish? Never mind. Another good video that I would like to point out to you guys is my Mass Effect Andromeda overview of the story with very minimal amount of spoilers, or at least I think so. I'm trying in this video to describe to you why I like the story and why all the bugs and glitches. This video is from before the patch with the animation fixes. So I'm trying to explain to you why I do like the game and how all of these bugs, issues, and problems that Andromeda has did not affect my personal entertainment with the game. As you can see on the screen, I do have quite a lot of other videos, so check them out, at least those that you would find interesting by the thumbnail, by the description, title, and everything else. And do not forget, actually, that's something I don't say often, don't forget that there is this little bell button. And if you want to receive information about my activities as soon as I publish a video, you will receive a notification if you have this check on. If you don't have it, Google, or YouTube I should say, will not send you a notification. It is the beginning of the month, more or less, so I would like to say my regular thank you message to all of my patrons. Thank you guys for your support. I highly value your personal resources and support. And I do have actually a very special Patreon-only video log coming in the next days where I have some big update to share regarding something I'm about to purchase. And I really believe that you would be interested in what I have to say. Basically, yes, thank you to all of my patrons for your support in March. I hope that you're happy with the giveaways that you've received. And I'm looking forward to the next month's activities. Don't forget to join my Discord if you're a patron of mine. See you next time. Bye bye.